Look at me, man to man. Give me a minute of your time. I know the weight you're carrying is heavy, but I need you to open your eyes to what's actually happening out there. Society is trying to convince you that your manhood is a problem. They want you to believe that leadership is just aggression, that courage is arrogance, and that your very nature is something that needs to be neutralized. And you know what the result of that lie is? A generation of passive men. Men with no drive, no direction, and no real backbone.
Men who just sit on the sidelines and watch their lives happen to them. They watch their families drift apart and they stay silent. They know what's right, but they're too afraid to take a stand. But listen to me. A man of God was never called to live life small. You were called to lead. Get this straight. Leading isn't about barking orders or being the loudest voice in the room. Leadership is about being the standard. It's about taking ownership when nobody else wants the responsibility. It's about standing firm when everyone else is losing their heads. Any kid can talk a big game,
but very few men actually have what it takes to protect the people standing next to them. Few men can master their own temper. Few men keep their word when it costs them and stay strong when the pressure actually hits. That is what separates the boys from the men. A weak man dodges the burden. A strong man shoulders it. A coward waits for someone else to fix it. A man of God steps up and handles it.
Remember Gideon? He was hiding in a wine press, threshing wheat in the dark because he was terrified of the enemy. He thought he was the least in his family, a failure destined to live in the shadows. But when the angel of the Lord showed up, he didn't look at Gideon's fear. He looked at what was inside him and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty man of valor."
God doesn't just see where you're falling short today, brother. He sees the man He created you to become. He's calling you out of that hiding place right now. Because being good doesn't mean being soft. Jesus was the literal definition of love, but He also stared down hypocrites, flipped tables in the temple, and spoke with absolute authority. There is a massive difference between being a man of peace and being a man who's just a coward. A man of God isn't some cornered sheep that accepts everything in silence. He's a lion. Not because he's violent or proud, but because of the weight of his presence. When he walks into a room, there's stability, there's direction, there's security. He protects his kids, he honors his wife, and his word is his bond. We have a generation of men today who are strong in the gym, but weak in the mind. Guys who can move heavy weight, but can't control their own impulses. Guys who talk about success, but run from the daily sacrifice. They demand respect, but they live without discipline. And here's the cold, hard truth. A man without discipline is just a slave to his own feelings. That's why God isn't looking for perfect men. He's looking for willing men. The kind of men who get up early, even when they're exhausted. Who do what needs to be done without waiting for a thank you. Who protect their homes in total anonymity and keep standing even when they're bleeding inside. This isn't about looking tough. It's about having the internal structure to carry the load. Deep inside you, there is a God-given strength that's been buried under comfort and a lack of vision. But it's still alive in there. That's why God isn't looking for perfect men. He's looking for willing men. The kind of men who get up early even when they're exhausted. Who do what needs to be done without waiting for a thank you. Who protect their homes in total anonymity and keep standing even when they're bleeding inside. This isn't about looking tough. It's about having the internal structure to carry the load. Deep inside you, there is a God-given strength that's been buried under comfort and a lack of vision. But it's still alive in there. It's time to decide. Are you going to keep living as a spectator in your own story? Or are you going to take the ground you were born to occupy? The world is starving for men of integrity. Men who do the right thing even when it costs them everything. And when you feel like you're hitting your limit, remember Romans 8:11. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. The strength doesn't come from your will, it comes from Him. Now stand up and become the man God created you to be.